Hi, it's Bonnie, and you'd think that after 42 cruises, traveling would get easier, and in some ways it does, but every experience is different, and most people think of Alaska when they imagine a cruise, but have you ever considered an adventure to Iceland, Greenland, and Nova Scotia? I have, and that's what I'm doing today. So I will take you along on my journey, and the embarkation process starts kind of today. I'm heading to a new destination aboard Royal Caribbean's Jewel of the Seas, and I'm here to show you how to seamlessly navigate from one end of the world to the other. From an overnight layover in Amsterdam to finding a great hotel near the airport and making sure you catch your cruise transportation on time, I've got you covered. So let's get started. After arriving from San Francisco, I had a long layover at Boston Logan before catching my flight to Amsterdam, and luckily I discovered the Hilton Hotel. It was such a great place to recharge before the next flight. Let me show you how I got there. And it is within walking distance from Terminal A. I came in on Delta, and that's where I landed, but you can access Terminal A easily from any other terminal. Once you're in Terminal A at the baggage claim, you can either walk outside or take a skywalk, which is up through the parking garage. If you go for the skywalk, follow the signs, and you'll arrive at the Hilton on the second level. And from there, take the elevator down to the lobby. Floor is the sky bridge to the terminals. And you'll find a nice space with tables. There's coffee and even food, kind of Starbucks-like. And what's great is that there are outlets by the tables to charge your devices. So it's a little hidden place that if you can't get past security and you have a bunch of luggage and you can't check in yet to get rid of that luggage, this is the perfect spot to be waiting, and it's almost like you forget you're at the airport. Didn't know that there was a Hilton within walking distance. This is probably maybe a 5-minute walk outside of baggage claim. This is a really tough trip for me to pack because of the weight restrictions. I'm taking a budget carrier that says you can't have over 44 pounds in the one luggage, and you had to pay for that, and then the carry-on can't weigh more than 26 pounds, and I'm really struggling with that because I have so much equipment and things that I carry around, so it's kind of crazy. But looking forward to this trip. It's solo once again, and you know, the more I travel, the more I realize there's so much more to see. I'm going to be seeing some beautiful places. I mean, I'll be up near the Arctic Circle, so it's going to be cold, even though we're in August. My airline doesn't even have signs up yet, it's so new. Took a red-eye flight that went via Reykjavik, Iceland, and I ended up in Amsterdam. When I arrived at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam, I quickly realized just how massive this airport is. And after passing through customs, I found myself in a bustling train station, complete with shops, food, and so many people. I started to wonder, where on earth would I find the Royal Caribbean meetup? I wasn't due to meet until the next day, but I kind of want to have my bearings so I knew where to go. Lots of things to eat and drink in here. There's also a grocery store I'm heading to, but there's train, ticket, and services way over there. So this is right out of the airport. But first things first, I needed to find my hotel shuttle. It was easy enough. Just head all the way to the right in the train station, and once you exit there, there's a designated area for hotel shuttles. I stayed at the Corendon Hotel, which offers a frequent shuttle service from the Schiphol Airport about every 30 minutes. And from there, you can hop on a train and get to the Amsterdam Central Station in about 20 minutes. Once I arrived at the hotel and checked in, it was right near the airport. It's probably a mile and a half away. I decided to head into downtown Amsterdam to explore. I had a reservation at the Rijksmuseum, and I just wanted to see how easy this would be. The hotel kindly stored my luggage, and I took the shuttle back to the airport, where I caught a train ride to Central Station. This is the way you can get to the museum. It's Central Station. You take the train to Central Station, and then tram 2 going and 12 returning. 7 stops. It's a nice place to stay because of its central location as far as the train station to the airport. And if you're going to take the airport transport, it's kind of nice. The price of the hotel was like $140 with tax and everything. And by standards in this area, that was way less than staying in downtown Amsterdam. Less of a hassle if you're on your way to the cruise. Apparently there's a bunch of people in my hotel that are doing the same thing. I bought a tram day pass for €9 and decided to visit the Rijksmuseum, which I had booked ahead online while I was waiting for my room to be ready. Amsterdam Central. And the pass is a great deal and makes getting around Amsterdam super easy. It's right outside of Central Station. And if you keep walking straight to the right are the trams. So this is the Central Station, and from Schiphol Airport, one way is €4.90, and you can use a credit card. And you buy that at the machine, and then I just bought this ticket, which is for the metro, and it's €9 for the whole day. The Amsterdam public transport system is very easy to use. You just have to make sure that you go on the right tram number. So it's nice to be back here. I haven't been here in years, but at the same time, I used to come here a lot when I was in my 20s. I worked for an airline that came here on a weekly basis. I kind of know the area pretty well, but man, it looks so different. I mean, that always happens when you take 20, 30 years from something, but the weather's pretty nice here in August. High 60s. Anyway, in the Central Station, there's lots of little shops and places to eat as well. I just bought some water. Over here at this, way over there is a hotel or something. I don't know what that is. On the very top, they're swinging. So for a city of just over 1 million people, Amsterdam is packed with cultural gems, and it has about 85 museums. It rivals cities like Paris, Vatican City, and Washington, D.C. when it comes to museums per capita. So whether you're drawn to the classics or modern art, there is something for everyone. And you may be wondering, why are the houses so narrow as you explore the city? You'll notice the iconic narrow houses lining the canals. And some of these buildings are only 2 meters wide, and the reason's because in the 17th century, Amsterdam taxed residents based on the width of their property. So the narrower the home, the less taxes they paid. If you're traveling solo or you just need a peaceful place to unwind, Museumplein is a fantastic option. It houses 3 world-famous museums, the Rijksmuseum, Van Gogh Museum, and the Stedelijk Museum. So whether you're into Rembrandt or Van Gogh, there's something for every art lover. And I personally visited the Rijksmuseum. Like I said, I bought my tickets in advance. I went to see the Night Watch and other masterpieces, and it is a perfect stop if you're jet lagged and you just want to soak in some culture without feeling rushed. I know that some travelers spent a few days exploring Amsterdam and its surrounding cities, and probably I would suggest doing that on a trip like this because I did feel like I was pushing myself, but I did want to get into experiencing something in Amsterdam, so this was the perfect thing to do for me. And just so you know, the Night Watch by Rembrandt is one of the most iconic pieces of art housed in the Rijksmuseum. This Grand Civic Guard portrait is celebrated not just for its size, but by the way Rembrandt brought movement and life to a traditional group portrait. Night Watch Gallery was designed to show this masterpiece, and it is a must-see for any visitor to the museum, and it is truly a highlight of Dutch art. And just so you know, currently the Night Watch is undergoing an extensive restoration process. This restoration is a massive effort to preserve Rembrandt's masterpiece for future generations. Over time, the painting has suffered from various forms of damage, including earlier restoration attempts and environmental wear. So they are using cutting-edge technology to analyze and restore the piece, all while keeping it on display for visitors so they can watch the work in progress. It is a unique chance to witness the conservation of one of the world's most famous paintings. The number 2 there, or the 12 that I'm on, goes to Museumplein. and it's 7 stops away. But this is on the other side of the central station, so you have to look for it, because if you go out the wrong door, it'll be 26, and that's not what you want. You want 2 or 12. From the tram, this is what you do to get to the Rijksmuseum. Ask for directions, but what I did was I exited the tram, crossed the street, made a left, worked my way back towards Museumplein, and on the right-hand side was a park. I walked through that, there was a food court, some other museums, and then I noticed the big passage entryway. There are 2 entrances to the Rijksmuseum. There's a stair access one, and then there's an elevator access. Both are in the arcade that runs under the building, which is known as the Passage. This is a public road that is open to cyclists and pedestrians, so watch out for the bikes. And when you exit your Museumplein, Rijksmuseum will be right next door to the Van Gogh Museum in this big structure. You can't miss it. And then you will be entering on the left side. This is the museum cafe. It's open until 6 o'clock. So this stays open until 6, but the museum closes at 5. I happened to book a reservation online before I went into this museum, and I was late. I was a few hours late, but they still honored the ticket. So just make sure you make a reservation, because they would like you to do that. Download the app so you can have a good route. You can choose from a bunch of routes, and it tells you all about what you're looking at, and that way you can plan your visit. The Renaissance area. A merry family. The garden area. Very pretty. Sounds like someone's singing. So this is the exit. How it looks from afar. So when you exit to go to the museum shop, and then you just follow that down the street to go to the tram. And things are closing because the museum's closing. And after a full day of exploring Amsterdam, I finally returned to the hotel. I checked into my room, and here's a quick look at my space. Wanted to say is, when you are traveling, you want to make sure, just as a side note, bought this. This was very handy because it has a Type-C and a USB, and then of course it's the universal travel adapter. It's got all different kinds of things, but this particular side has for all different countries, but this is what the type of prong you will need for Amsterdam. or a lot of places here. So that's Europe, and then you've got China and Hong Kong and Australia and just all kinds of different. But anyway, I was just going to say you need to have something like this when you're traveling, and it comes out like you just do this kind of thing. So there's all different plugs on it. It's handy. I got it on Amazon. I'll put a link down below. But it's helpful because it's not a ton of different plugs, but I did need this one yesterday. And this definitely came in handy because this hotel doesn't have that type of thing. It only has this kind of a plug. Oh wait, no, I see it does have some of these here. I didn't see this yesterday. Anyway, it comes in handy. Later I had a relaxing dinner at the bar Bistro. It was just a simple burger and fries before calling it a night. And that is the dining room over there. Bar Bistro area. Their buffet was an all you can eat, but it was around €45. Which is kind of steep, but if I guess you're really hungry, then that's fine. But it's a nice lobby, nice hotel. The next morning, it was time to get ready for embarkation day. Any cruise ship always wants to know what airline you're arriving on and what time. And because I had arrived the day before, I just gave them the same time information for the day of the actual departure, even though I had been there 24 hours prior. So I headed back to the airport to meet the Royal Caribbean representative. With no official office, I really wasn't sure where to look, but after a bit of searching and returning to the terminal and the door where I had exited originally, I found them standing there. She had a white lollipop, a blue navy uniform with a white blouse and a scarf, and she directed me to another portable desk that a man was working. So the arrivals is there, the hospitality desk is there. This is the waiting area that you'll be waiting in for your group. My group is 5. I was a little leery of how I was going to meet this. I see Viking here, but I wasn't sure how that was going to work out. But she had a sign and it was really easy to find her. No problem at all. So you can spend the night and meet at the airport. It isn't as bad as you would think in this huge place. They do find you, and the hospitality desk has a roster. They check you off, and you're good to go. Wait for about 20 minutes, and then we all walked as a group through the train station, out the door, across the street, and onto the bus. This was quick, easy, and it is convenient. So it wasn't hard at all. I found them, and the bus was there to the ship. It was no problem. Once my luggage was taken, I never had to touch it again till I got it in the room. So that was great. And embarkation day was just ahead, and you will see that in my next video about embarkation day and everything and how that went. Thanks for coming along on this pre-embarkation journey with me from Boston to Amsterdam. It was quite the adventure. Be sure to check out my next video where I'll show you all the details of embarkation day and the start of my cruise. And if you haven't seen it yet, don't miss my video on sailing through the stunning Prince Christian Sound. Links are below, and if you found this helpful, informative, or you've learned something, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe for more travel tips and adventures. Thank you so much for watching. Happy cruising, and until next time.